Hey friends, I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today is Tag Tuesday, so I'm doing a tag for you watchers, people, subscribers, what? For you. Just for you. You specifically. You. Today's tag is going to be a relatively short one, but we all know I will probably just talk and talk and talk and talk and make it long anyway because that's what I'm really good at. Today is going to be the book recommendations tag. I was tagged by Julie over at Pages and Pens forever ago. Oh my goodness. And I hadn't realized that she tagged me. I hadn't even realized that I hadn't watched the video. I tried to watch all her videos and I somehow missed it and I don't know how. This tag was created by Zariah Rose, who is just awesome and wonderful and just creative and beautiful. So I'm going to leave a link to both of their channels down below. Make sure that you check them out. They are my favorites. So tag is basically just where there's like 4 really simple questions and you recommend a book on these really simple questions. And I try to pick things that maybe I don't necessarily mention on here a lot, but we'll see. Okay, let's get into the tag. Can you guys tell that I've just been doing shirt and lipstick changes all day? There's gonna be like 10 videos with this look. Question number 1 is to recommend the best book that you read last month. Not a new kind of book. I mean, it's been probably mentioned on BookTube so many times, especially because there was just a new release of one of the books in like the post series, or I don't know what it is. But the best book that I read last month was Red Rising. So that is what I'm gonna recommend to you guys. This is a fairly complex sci-fi, but I swear it is worth knowing. I loved this book so very much. So basically, if you don't know, which I don't know how you don't know, follow the main character Darrow. Darrow? Is it Darrow or Darrow? How do you guys say that? So I'm going to say Darrow. Yeah, no, Darrow sounds better. Darrow. Anyway, Darrow, basically, he is considered a red. And everyone is grouped by colors. You were born into your color and that's where you stay. Golds are at the very top of the pyramid and then it works its way down, and reds are at the very bottom. They are the miners on Mars. They don't ever see the light of day. And Darrow here, he is a red miner. They have been told for years and years that they are the reason, if they keep mining, eventually Mars will be able to be livable on. They are working for the future of civilization, but they're a rebel group. They take him in and they're like, hey, we want to show you the lie that you've been living. And basically, Mars has already been populated for hundreds of years, and they have just been lying to keep them in the mines. So this is kind of him transforming into what he is not and infiltrating to kind of break apart this color system that has occurred in this world. So it is so intense, it is so brutal, it's bloody, and it is fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Once I got through the explanation of things at the beginning, I just flew through this. Definitely recommend. Number 2 is recommend an old favorite. This is one I don't talk about here on this channel. I think I've mentioned it a few times, but it's not something I talk about frequently. And that's just because it is literary fiction, and I know most people they aren't into that. They find it hard to get into. You know, they don't want to think as deeply, and they tend to be depressing, so meh. But one of my all-time favorites is The Mysteries of Pittsburgh, and oh my goodness, guys. The overall premise of this doesn't sound interesting. It's basically this guy, and he moves to Pittsburgh, and it's just him figuring it out his life. I don't know how else to describe it. It sounds so lame, I know, but this book was just so good. I don't know what it is about it. There is some bi rep in this as well, and I remember squealing at one of the parts in this. It was just so unexpected, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. I just flew through this. It was just fantastic. I just had to know what was gonna happen next, what he was gonna decide in his life. And I know some people are probably gonna say it's slow-paced and boring, but honestly, it's just so worth it. It is such a great read. It is such a strange and wild read, and I love this book so very much. It is very after you read it, you just sit there and contemplate life. It's just so good. So highly highly recommend it. I don't ever see anyone talk about this, but it is one of my all-time favorites. So number 3 is recommend a nonfiction book. I don't really read nonfiction, but I actually found one on my shelves that I really enjoyed, and that is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And I feel like a lot of people have to read this for college now. I think it's like almost required by most schools to read this. It's very informing, but it doesn't come off that way. Like, it's still an entertaining story. It doesn't sacrifice storytelling for giving you information. They took her cells without her knowing, and she is the reason why, I mean, there has been so many medical developments, there's been so many testing, so many breakthroughs, because her cells were taken from her to use across the world, basically, and she never knew it. And this is just interviews with her family, just figuring out what happened, what they did with those cells, why they did it that way. And it was fascinating to me because I was a chemistry major for the longest time. But I mean, it's just so fascinating what they did and what they thought they could do without telling anyone, and just how this one woman has changed science without even realizing it. So, and just the way that they treated her was just... So, I mean, it doesn't read like a nonfiction, it very much reads like a story, but you still get all the good stuffs. And then the last question, number 4, is recommend a book that would help people escape. And I'm assuming this means from like real world problems. Normally, honestly, my go-to is Harry Potter. But I feel like that's kind of a go-to, and everyone has probably overused that. But immersing myself in Harry Potter is what I like to do. But I thought instead something that doesn't really take place during this time, on this world, whatever, is more fun than anything. So, I mean, I have to go with just, I feel like this is a YA classic at this time, and that is Cinder and just the overall Lunar Chronicles. It's just so much fun. It's like, it's a world and people that you can recognize without being too close to home. It takes these serious issues, but it makes them more fun with all these characters, these lovable characters, and there's just so many great moments in this, and it's just such a strong friendship, and just so many other things. I mean, it's just such a fun fairy tale story. Who doesn't want to go to fairy tales to escape? Like, I want a fairy tale life. Who doesn't? But I mean, this is just like a fun, cute adventure romance kind of story. So it's just so fun and I love it. Characters that we know and love, and just in a different setting, and it's just yes. That's how I recommend books. Like, I just make mouth movements and noises, and that's how you know I really like a book. Those are some recommendations from me. Y'all have probably heard some of these books here before, but this is just kind of like a recap for you. Like, hey, remember these books that I liked? Here's some more reason to read them, I guess. I don't know. It's been so long since I've done a recommendations video. Like, Allie, what have you been doing? Like, they're some of my favorites to make too, because I get to gush about books that I love. So let me know in the comments what kind of recommendations video that you guys would like to see from me next. Whether it's more graphic novels, more audiobooks, do you want to see like a specific genre, YA, adult, do you want to see like fantasy, contemporary, like let me know. Just let me know what kind of recommendations videos you want to see from me. Like, I plan on doing more, I just indecisive, I guess. So I hope you guys have liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to see future Tag Tuesday videos from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!